This is a HeadGum podcast.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to A Funny Feeling Podcast. I'm Betsy Sidaro.
And I'm Marcy Jarrow. This is a podcast where comedians tell us their paranormal experiences, and we listen to yours as well.
Oh, yeah. And if you have one of these paranormal experiences that you want to share with us, please email it to us at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Now get cozy.
And prepare yourself to be scared silly.
This is a Funny Feeling Podcast. Betsy.
Marcy.
What do you want to do today?
You know what I want to fucking do?
You want to listen to some ghost stories?
I want to listen to some listeners' ghost stories.
We're going to do an all ghost story episode.
Yeah,
today.
from you, the listeners. Are we reading some too?
We might read some,
Okay.
but let's go ahead and just dig into some of
dig
these
in.
recordings.
I'm
You guys,
so excited.
all right, get ready.
You guys, thank you for making us
Wait,
so scared.
what'd you say, Betsy?
I wanted to thank everybody for sending in their stories and scaring the living caca out of me.
Also, I will say, send more to us.
Please.
funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com. All right, but if you're ready now.
I'm fucking ready. My poker face. La la la.
Get ready.
Ready to
All right.
get scared my face. I don't know. Here we go.
Hi guys, my name's Rebecca Hendricks, and I'm sharing my ghost story, one of my many ghost stories with you guys today. Just full disclosure, if you hear a little bell in the background, it's not actually an angel getting its wings, it's my cat Binks, and she likes to be a part of everything that I do. And get down. So a little bit about myself. I'm very sensitive to the paranormal. Growing up, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and she is probably the most perfect combination of Reba McEntire and Richard Simmons. She introduced me to my love of drag, my love of theater, my love of music, but she was also the person to point out that I was sensitive to the paranormal, and she was honestly the only one in my family to believe me for a really long time. So the story that I'm choosing to share with you guys today has to do with my campus that I attended college at, the University of Montevallo. There is a lot of death that surrounds our campus. But I chose my alma mater because, you know, the campus is beautiful and it's a liberal arts college, and we have like the largest geode in North America, but who's counting? But also we have the oldest homecoming tradition in the world, college night, which is competitive musical theater. Hello. Coolest thing ever. So the main reason I chose this campus is because through the grapevine, and they don't actually advertise this, we are probably one of the most haunted places in Alabama. So kind of where that all began was with the oldest building that we have on campus, and it's called King House. King House was built by Edmund King. He was from Virginia, I'm pretty sure, and I may have this year wrong, but in 1823, he purchased the land that he built the house on from Native Americans, of course. And so many things have happened since that house. It was famous because it was the first mansion in Alabama to have windows, which was a big deal at the time. And then after that, the Civil War part of it was fought on our campus. Not a big part, but a part nonetheless. So obviously I was like, sign me up. Also kind of to come in, I guess, like something I should mention was they also had a family like burial plot. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of my accent. And that burial plot for that family was directly across from my old apartment, which was adjacent to, or I guess parallel to King House. That will all come together shortly. So like I said, in 1823, he purchased the land for apple orchards, from what I understand. And, shortly after that, the Civil War started. And they built Confederate tunnels for the Confederate soldiers to move around without anyone seeing them or noticing. It's a lot like Disney World, but a lot more morbid. But we also have a building on campus that used to be a Civil War hospital, which that has its own can of worms that I can't even begin to get into. So those tunnels are obviously shut off now. And also something I should mention is when our land was occupied by the Union, they took over King House. And part of the legend is before they could come and take over, King hid his fortune on the land. And supposedly he haunts for that reason. And his ghost is said to wander, upstairs part of the house and, count his money. So, as I told you, I told you all of that to move on to segue into, I guess, my freshman year after hearing this story and learning about this very famous ghost on campus. I had a group of me and my sorority sisters. I was like, let's go find these tunnels, you guys. Let's do it. Stupid. However, it's a small campus. Why not? Let's do it. So a group of us go out and we're looking because they're supposed to be shut off and closed off, but we wanted to find the entrance because apparently they're somewhere on campus, but nobody really knows where. And if they do, they don't tell you. So we're looking around campus, and we get to King House, and it's 10:30, 11 at night, right? So we get to the front of the house, and we're kind of looking around, and the closer we get to the house, now we're not allowed into the house. The house is locked. There's an alarm system. But the alarm system doesn't go off and doesn't notify anyone unless you actually you have to hit the door or you have to open the gate. You have to do something physical to make this alarm go off. So as we're walking the perimeter of this house, the police show up, the university police, and they're like, hey, we got a call or we got an alert saying that somebody was trying to get in the house. Was it you guys? Let me tell you that nobody is going up and walking up and trying to open the door to this house, ever. Okay? You're just not going to do it. It's so creepy and it's so old and everything is exactly like it was when he died. You don't walk up to it. Nobody's got the kahunas to do that. So we're all no, nobody did that. And he was like, well, the alarm was set off, and it was set off within the first 10 minutes that we were walking up to the house. Fast forward to about a year and a half later. This story is not over. I'm walking home from the library one night, and it's 12:30, 1 a.m. It's a small school, like I said, and it's usually pretty quiet at night, but there are people that walk around, but for some reason, but it is well lit. I will preface that by saying it is well lit, so it wasn't scary. But I was walking home to said apartment that was directly across from that burial plot. And it used to creep me out, so I just would walk with kind of my head down. But like I said, nobody goes inside King House. You have to have all this paperwork done, and they usually only use it for special events like weddings. And even then, they don't use the house. They don't use the actual house. They use the back end of the house, which is the kitchen. So I'm walking by, and I notice the light is on in the top hallway. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Maybe they were just doing maintenance. And I notice that there is a shadow that walks by. And I start to walk a little bit faster because that scared me. And I'm like, okay, they have to be doing maintenance. And then I see it, I kind of look up and I see that shadow walk back. There's no one in this house. And I'm like, great. I'm totally creeped out. So I call my boyfriend at the time and I'm like, yo, get over here. Something weird is happening. I call the police and they end up coming because when I call them and I ask them, hey, is there somebody in King House at 12:30, 1 o'clock at night? They say no. No one's been in that house in a week, but we'll come and check. Great. I'm totally creeped out. So the police end up coming and I'm taking pictures all around because I'm a ghost hunter at heart. And sure enough, not only was the light not turned, like nobody had been in that house in a week. And I walk past this house every night and the light is not on. It was just this night. So they open up the house, they turn off all the lights. I'm sincerely creeped out. So I'm going through my pictures and I notice, and I sent you guys this picture, there is a man in the very last picture looking out of the window and looking at me in the last picture. I'm totally freaked out. So I go to the library the next day and I ask them for their ghost files and I keep going in depth, being like, this cannot be real. Apparently, the picture of him that I found, of his like headshot, I guess, in the 1800s, looks almost identical to the guy in the window. And not only that, I start to read that there is more than just him, but there is a malevolent spirit as well that haunts the house and has done all kinds of crazy things to people who have gone and investigated. When I go to brighten the picture and filter it, there is a hooded figure back behind the ghost that I think is Edmund King that looks like it's like looking down kind of like in a praying manner, but it is sketchy AF. So I get chills down my spine and I've had about enough of this. So I get in my car to go home. And as I'm driving, still having to drive past this creepy house, I kind of look up to look into the window and I shit you not, sorry, Mom, the blinds, I guess, or I guess the curtain is what you call it, does this little like shake nod thing at me. And I just like speed home terrified. And I just can't get over the fact that all of this is happening. And it was like it was saying, I saw you and you saw me and I'm letting you know it saw me. You saw me. So anyway, guys, that's my ghost story. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sending pictures along with it. And if you guys ever want another Montevallo ghost story, please hit me up.
Oh my God. You keep sending us those.
Wow.
That blew my tiny little mind.
Wait, where did it come
Whoa,
from? Wait,
where are the pickies?
I just lost it. Wait. Hold on.
Marcy,
All right. I was trying to find that because
I want to see those pics.
I know, but I can't find it, Betsy.
The email has disappeared.
It's so
everybody.
weird. A weird, crazy
so we
thing
don't
happened.
know if it ever existed.
Yeah, it's truly crazy. I will try to listen back and find any details, but like it's seriously
It's
like
gone.
I tried to like when
that email hasn't been sent for a week.
that was so
That horrifying.
crazy.
The hooded figure. We have to see these pictures,
I
Marcy.
know.
I'm freaking out.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, I'm freaking out.
Don't freak out.
Also, describing your grandmother as Reba McEntire and Richard Simmons.
that is
That is
truly
a perfect human being.
Yeah, like
Holy
I love your
shit.
grandmother. God, that was spooky.
We need to.
I know. I'll try to find it, but I can only do what I can do right now.
I know. Maybe it's on your computer. Because that happens to me sometimes. Where my phone will not search, but my computer will search.
Yes, I'll do that. I found Rebecca. Actually,
We have found it.
a little fun thing about finding Rebecca's email finally, although
Yeah.
it did disappear. I think she sent us a king cake.
Is she the one?
I think so. If
Awesome.
not, oops, check this too. All right.
That's so nice.
So here's her email. Okay, so I attached the original picture, the filtered picture next to the portrait of Edmund King, who I'm like 99% sure I have pictured with the hooded picture behind him.
God.
And Binks, my cat that you can hear running around in the background. It's really funny because Betsy kicked my cat in the head.
Isn't that funny?
Accidentally.
I didn't mean to.
Accidentally, but while that story was
While
going,
we were listening to your story,
it scared her so badly. She kicked Bo,
I
and now
accidentally knocked him in the noggin.
and now he's all over her. He loves her so
he
much.
loves me.
Be sure to have your brightness up so you can see all the things. Okay, so let's look. Okay,
Jesus Christ, it's like the fucking collar and everything.
fuck.
Oh, fuck, I got so many chills. This is nasty. This is horrifying.
Okay, that's the cat. Very cute.
Very good cat. Wait,
There's
where are
that
we?
fucking guy in the window. Do you see him?
Oh, shit, I see him.
Holy
Wait, is there a hooded figure?
Okay.
Ew.
Right there. He looks like Grayskull, like that guy.
Ew.
And the power. Oh my god. Okay.
This is fucked up, man. Rebecca, this is fucked
This is
up.
very
How dare
How
you?
dare you?
This is perfect and fucked up. Oh my God.
Okay.
That's unbelievable.
Okay.
That is unbelievable.
But wait. Okay. So now it says this is her final email. Wow. Okay. I'm finally done with all these attachments. Last is the written version of my story. Hope you love it. And if you don't, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, then fuck off. I don't know.
Okay. So it's just the written story. Damn.
We will post those photos when we'll post. They're on. If you're listening to this, they're on the internet.
Are on
Jesus
the
Christ.
internet.
That's horrifying because a lot of times they're like, look at this picture compared to
And
this
it's
picture, and you're like,
so
whatever,
hard to
whatever.
tell, like,
and this
what
is
is
like,
what.
that's that fucking dude.
That is that fucking guy.
That's that fucking dude.
Holy
Oh my God.
shit.
That's insane. That's awesome.
I'm so glad I found it. Although Mercury in retrograde really tried to stop me.
I feel
I wouldn't let it.
Mercury always in retro? Something's always
It is
up.
for sure right now.
What does that mean?
I had to burp, but I didn't want to do it into the mic because apparently
That's
people don't
rude.
love it.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry, everybody. I think it's fantastic. Everybody does it.
All right,
Let's get rid of the stigma of burping. Okay, we need to talk about it. Everybody does it.
Should we listen to another one?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Hi, Betsy and Marcy. This is Izzy calling from Denver, Colorado. Woo! Betsy, I know you're a big Colorado head. I was listening to your most recent episode where you talked about the Stanley Hotel, so I thought I would share my own experience staying there. I booked online, so they gave us like the tiniest room imaginable. Like, I don't think that there's any other room in the hotel that was as small as the one as we had. It was like tucked behind a stairwell, and it basically only fit the bed we stayed in and a TV, and there was also a closet and a bathroom. So I went there with someone I was seeing, and he fell asleep pretty quickly, but I have a pretty hard time drifting off to bed. So it was just me awake, and the closet door kept opening and closing, which was pretty freaky, but I had this like large man next to me, so I felt pretty safe and was eventually able to fall asleep. But then in the middle of the night, he woke me up because he heard the sound of the door opening and closing, and he was like, Izzy, I think there's something in the closet. And I was so tired and just happy to have fallen asleep that I was kind of mean. I was just like, it's nothing, just go back to bed. But in the morning we talked about it, and it's pretty wild that we both experienced it independent of one another while the other was asleep. And nothing else scary happened while we were there, but that seems pretty significant. Anyway, have a great rest of your podcast.
Thank you, Izzy.
Thank
That's
you.
a scary. That's ew. That's nasty.
Yeah, damn.
Ew. And I like to imagine that this entity or whatever spirit is like, okay, I can never do it if they're both awake. I will only do it when the other is sleeping.
I'm too shy.
Ew, that's spooky. Also, the smallest room in this. I feel you were just staying in the janitor closet.
Yeah, someone was like, "Yeah, this will be $300 a night."
Yeah, great.
Fool.
You fool.
You
Ew, that's fun.
Fool.
Ew, that's freaky. We gotta stay at the Stanley Hotel.
We
We have such a big plan.
our tour is going to be epic.
We're going on an epic tour around the country looking for the most haunted places. We should.
All right, let's do it.
Done. I'm in. I'm there.
Okay, I'm gonna read one to us now.
Ooh, okay.
To us.
To us.
All right, this is from Becca. Hello.
Hello.
So here is my story. My whole life, I have heard voices talking with no explanation.
Wow.
As a young kid, it was a man's voice that would make funny sounds.
I thought you were going to say make fun of me. I was like, what the fuck?
But
That's mean.
it would often scare me awake, so I thought it was a dream. Other times, I would be the first one up, but didn't know because I would hear a man and a woman talking and think the TV was on. Wow. But would walk in the living room and everything would go silent. At 9,
Ew.
I had a night terror about a man coming to steal me.
No.
And was woken by my dad shaking me as I had been screaming so loudly and horribly. I woke both my parents, who slept down a hall. They checked the house because I described the man so clearly, but nothing. After that, the voices would say things I couldn't hear clearly or would say my name.
God damn it.
This continued to adulthood, but about 3 years ago, things took a turn. I started hearing the voices again clearly, and then the dreams started. I have a dream of the same woman every night, and she was always talking to me and trying to drive me insane. Her look frightened me, and the dream would take place in whatever room I was sleeping in, and she would be squatting next to the bed, face to face, saying my name as a whisper,
Oh, fuck.
and get louder until it made me jump awake.
Oh, my God.
Or I would hear a man's voice saying hello as soon as I decided to try to sleep. The worst for dreaming my soul was being taken out of my body and a woman was trying to get in.
Ew, that's like that old lady crawling in that kid's mouth. Remember that?
Yes. No.
Remember?
No.
It was another listener story.
Oh, yes.
Shit.
Okay.
Fuck, dude. My pants are filled.
Okay, this happened so frequently, I was scared to sleep for a few months and fell into depression from always being tired. My husband would wake me a lot because I would be whimpering or breathing fast in my sleep. It finally stopped for a bit when I was had the face-to-face dream again. But this night I yelled, "Go away," as loud as I could. My husband woke me up saying I was yelling in my sleep. But it started again. I now tell myself it's a dream and have been less scared, but still get scared awake. And the voices change from saying my name to sentences, boo, or just laughing. The worst moment happened this week. I fell asleep with my 2-year-old and he was woken by the damn woman saying, "That's not your baby you're holding." I immediately jumped out of bed and began picking up the baby who was still asleep and then realized it was just the voice. I have had to sleep with a nightlight, so when I wake up, I'm taken back to reality. So maybe the voices have always been a dream, but in every place I've lived, I've seen figures of black profiles, things fall or open, and in these dreams, the voices have told me that excuse me. And in these dreams, the voices have told me things that ended up happening within days, including the sudden death and what caused it of a friend. Love the show and its exploration. I think Marcy is paying Google because every podcast I find she's part of. But you're so entertaining to listen to, Rebecca. Look,
dude.
Rebecca, I just think maybe whatever you do, don't listen to this podcast late at night. I'm worried that we're contributing.
I don't know. Oh my God, that's so scary.
So damn scary.
Oh shit. That's really scary. I wonder, like,
Stressed me out.
is there like a sleep test you could do, or like something
Yeah, to
like
make sure it's not like night terrors or something. But geez, Louise.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Ugh, that was so scary.
Ooh, I don't like that at all. Stealing your soul and then climbing into your mouth. Get out of here.
Rude. You are rude.
Rude. You rude ghosts. How rude, says,
One of the Tanner kids.
yeah, which one? How rude.
Stephanie.
How about Aunt Becky getting busted up? That's a whole other podcast.
Whole nother pod.
Wow, that was great.
Should we get another one?
Yeah.
Betsy, let's have you read one.
Okay. Whoa, okay. I got one. You ready?
I'm so ready.
So this one, the subject line is ghost story or time slip. Okay, here we go. Back in the summer of 2006, my mom had a surgery at St. Bernardine's Hospital in San Bernardino, California. I had gone to visit her the day of the surgery. All went well, and I went home many hours later after her surgery. The following day, I got up around 10 a.m. and headed to the hospital to visit her. I spent the majority of the day with her, and the nurses didn't check in near as much as I wanted to. So, of course, I wrote rude things on the whiteboard before I left out of frustration.
Very funny.
Her floor was an odd one. Each patient had their own room, and the level had its own floor. When I went to leave, I stepped in the elevator as I had the day before and pushed the button for the ground level. I remember checking my phone to see if anyone had texted, and almost immediately the elevator stopped. Oh, fuck. A woman got on, and I remember asking her what level we were on, to which she quickly responded, the ground level. I was shocked and confused, but quickly thought, okay, which way do I go to exit? She told me to go right and just follow the hall. So I stepped out of the elevator and quickly was confused. I could immediately see this level had been abandoned or unused, but had been abandoned or unused, but was the hospital. I began to walk down the hall in the direction the woman told me, but took note of how empty the level was and remember seeing the dust particles floating in the sparse beams of light and just having an overwhelming sense of uneasiness, but I continued to move forward. Fuck, dude.
Man.
I moved quicker and quicker, getting more and more frightened for no reason, really, but my fear propelled me forward past the empty rooms and boxes and stale smell.
Ew. I know exactly what that is.
I do too. I hate it. I eventually reached a door. I quickly opened it and stepped outside hurriedly and extremely uncomfortable, just to find myself not only on the opposite end, but opposite side of the hospital. Nowhere near where I should have ended up. I hadn't thought much of the encounter as it was happening, apart from feeling uneasy on an empty floor as I walked along, and eventually ran upon reflection the woman who got on the elevator. I recall having a beehive type hairdo and a tweed skirt,
Cool.
which in retrospect may have been a ghost. It's all confusing because it may have been a ghost and it may have been a time slip, but to this day I feel uneasy about the experience, and it remains one of my scariest memories.
Wow.
Jennifer.
That is crazy.
Fuck, dude. That's awful and weird.
She saw Marge Simpson.
Marge, she goes, "You're on the ground floor, Homer." And then she gets
It's
off.
very good.
Thank you, Homer.
Homie.
That is horrifying. I wonder if she ever, Jennifer, if you ever asked anybody hey, is there an abandoned floor? Ooh,
Hey.
the idea of an abandoned floor in a hospital that's working is awful.
Yeah,
Doesn't
why?
that seem
Make it a lounge.
Make it a fucking awesome smoking lounge.
Make it people love to smoke.
People love to smoke, especially in hospitals.
They can't, and they don't get to do it enough.
They don't get to do it enough. Make it a cool smoking lounge. What do you think it was, Marcy? You think it was a ghost or a time slip or both, right? Both could happen.
I guess both could happen. You could time slip to an era where there's a ghost.
Duh.
I don't know, man. I guess we have to go investigate it
The
ourselves.
San Bernardino Hospital.
We could.
I mean, yeah, we're close to it.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's spooky. Hospitals are already the scariest, really awful, scary place.
They're the worst. All right,
I
you want
hate
to listen to
hospitals so
another
much.
one?
Yeah, I do.
Hi, Betsy and Marcy. It's Sarah. I just want to start out by saying I'm obsessed with your podcast. It is my absolute favorite, and I find it very entertaining, and it gets me through a week. So, my podcast is about a Ouija board. So, I grew up in this house in Southern Maryland. House was not haunted one bit. Parents didn't raise me to think about ghosts, love ghosts, anything like that. For whatever reason, little Sarah comes along and she's obsessed with the paranormal. So one day I begged my mom to take me and my friend Jessica to Toys R Us. Please, with my allowance money, I want to buy a Ouija board. For whatever reason, my mom was like, okay, yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. So she takes me to Toys R Us. I put down $20 for this Ouija board, glowing and all. Strictly that. We come home, whatever, and wait till it gets dark. Turn down all the lights. I had these weird glowing balls back in the 90s where they would change colors, but you could choose what color you wanted to put it on. So I would choose either, when I was playing Ouija, nothing or glowing red, because that's what little girls do. So me and my friend Jessica, we would sit there on my bed. And just set up for you, I didn't have a bed frame on my bed because I broke it by jumping on the bed when I was a little kid, and my parents decided you don't deserve a bed frame because you cannot be trusted. So my bed was against the wall. I put it against the wall because I didn't trust anything to come behind me when I was little. So I'd sleep with my back against the wall. And so anyway, me and my friend Jessica would play Ouija board every night. The first night, we made sure it was glowing, dark at night, and we'd sit there and we put both of our fingers on the little paddle that sits on top of the board. Are there any ghosts in the room that want to communicate with us? Nothing. We'd sit there probably for about 30 minutes, and then we'd say it again. Are there any ghosts in here that want to communicate with us? 30 minutes go by, nothing again. I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll play it again tomorrow. Next day would go by, we do it the same thing. And I think probably a week later, and we would do this for a week straight. They were neighbors, so we hung out every single day. I think a week later, same thing, 2 fingers each on both hands on the paddle. Are there any ghosts in here that want to communicate with us? And this thing started moving so slowly from the middle of the board to yes. I can't even tell you how slow it was. It was so slow. And I'm like, Jessica, are you moving it? She's like, oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. Are you moving it? And I was like, no, what the? Like, I didn't know how to cuss back then. I was like, I don't know. Like, oh, what the stuffed animal? What? It's not moving. And it moved, I'm not even kidding you, from the middle of the board to yes in 10 minutes. It was so slow. So the more it picked up, we would play it, and it would get faster and faster, and we would stare at each other and not even look at each other, and it would go to words or letters. And I can't even tell you who we were communicating with or whatever, but I remember it was this little boy, and I don't even know, but we also like knew stuff about the paranormal. I'm not really quite sure because there's no Google back then. And we were like, oh, I can't trust it. It could be a demon, like making itself look like a little boy and whatever. So probably fast forward like a month, 4 weeks. I had this clock next to my bed, and it was on the wall, and it had the whole face, and then it had the little drop where it had the ticky thing that goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The only way for that little drop, I don't know what that thing is called, that goes back and forth really slowly, where it goes tick tock, tick tock. The only way for that to move was if you actually took the clock off the wall and you positioned your finger on this little plastic piece and made it turn it to the right and then put it back on the wall, and the gravity would take it from left to right, from left to right, down and up, down and up. And it would probably only take an hour, and then it would stop. Because it was from Walmart, it wasn't anything special. I was just, as a child, I was obsessed with time. Even now I am. So I hadn't touched this clock on my wall, and I don't even know how long. I just liked looking at what time it was at all times. So that week later, after getting this Ouija board, it was in the middle of the night. I probably had those red bulbs like glowing because I was a freaky child. And out of nowhere, that clock on my wall, that little tick-tock little piece that goes back and forth and back and forth, started slamming each side, back and forth so hard, and slamming and slamming and slamming. And me and Jessica looked at each other, we're like, what is going on? I picked that clock off my wall and threw it on the ground, and I said, no more. That was the last time I played that Ouija board in that house. Coincidentally, about, I would say 6 months to probably a year later, we moved out of the house. The Ouija board came with, because my mom loves board games, and we never told her what happened with the Ouija board. And I remember walking into the basement at the new house, and I saw the Ouija board sitting there, and I was like, oh no, I'm not touching that. And then I took it to my friend's bonfire party in Southern Maryland, because that's what we do. We just do weird things in the middle of nowhere with fires. And she's like, yeah, bring your Ouija board. I know you, like, I heard that you have one. I was like, yeah, I haven't touched that, but of course, yeah, definitely. I'm a teenager now. Like, I'm cool. Brought it there. The whole thing got rained out, left the Ouija board, haven't seen it since, and I am thankful for you and that rain, so thank you. But anyway, that is my Ouija board / paranormal / ghost story, and hope you enjoyed it.
Ouija boards are bad news.
Look, that was a wild story. You gotta burn a Ouija board.
Get them out of here.
Yeah.
I don't care, because I heard people being like, how does Milton Bradley know how to do it?
Yeah,
it's like,
it's just a
I
thing.
don't give a shit. It opens up stuff.
It's not my job
I don't need
to figure out why it works or how it works.
Yeah.
Although
Somebody was working at Milton Bradley
some fucking
years ago,
devil man,
and fucking was like, hey, yeah, I got a bitch, it's called the Ouija board. Like, yeah, a devil man was working there. Ew, that's nasty.
I will say that it was very funny that, like, for 10 minutes it, like, barely moved. I was like, I don't know if it is moving.
That is so funny.
Have I ever told you, like, almost every night before I go to bed, I'm like, are we having an earthquake? But I think it's just me being sleepy and, like, I don't know.
Oh, you haven't. I remember the last time we did have an earthquake, I had just started taking these pills that, like, part of the side effect
Acid?
was really giving you your stomach a go.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like sitting on the edge of my couch, and I was like, "Oof, I feel like I need to take a shit." And then a rumbling happened, and I thought it was my stomach. I was like, "Yep, I gotta go to the bathroom." But then I like was then on Twitter or something and saw everybody's like, "Earthquake, earthquake," and I was like, "Oh yeah."
I thought that earthquake
I
was
thought that was
just
my butthole.
diarrhea.
Oh yes,
Okay,
great.
Let's listen to another.
Okay.
Hey ladies and guest, my name is Brent. I am 22 years old from Chicago. I love long walks on the beach and paranormal activity. So I have a lot of different experiences and interactions with the paranormal. And it's really enough to take up an entire podcast episode. So I'm going to instead tell you about the first time that I ever experienced anything paranormal. So I was 4 years old, about to turn 5. And so this is one of my first memories ever, but definitely the first of the paranormal kind and sort of my introduction to it as a whole. So when I was 4, it was just me and my mom living on our own because my parents had separated like 2 years prior. So it was just me and her chilling in our own little world, and we lived in a townhouse. So the first floor was like the kitchen, living room, and dining room, and then you'd like go up a set of stairs to this like second floor living space, and then you'd like turn around to go up another set of stairs to like the third floor where the guest room, my mom's room, and then my room was. So there's one night, and it's just me and my mom, and she is downstairs in the living room, and I decide to go upstairs to my room to go like play with my toys. And so I head up all the stairs, and since her room was like at the top of the landing, like right in front of the top of the stairs, and my room was to the right of hers, as I was heading into my room, I looked into her room and I noticed something. And so I could see the edge of her bed, but then I could see something on it. And I was really confused because my dog was downstairs with her at the time of me going upstairs. So I was like, okay, it's not Brittany, it's not my dog. So I head into her room, and there's this grown man just laying on her bed. And so I was so confused, and I wasn't really intimidated or scared or threatened or anything like that. I was just really confused and just didn't know who he was or why he was there. So I look at him, and I could tell he's really tall, probably like 6 feet tall or something like that. He's wearing a black and red flannel shirt. He's got dark brown hair, almost black, and like a thick beard. He's wearing just like jeans and, like worker boots. And so I'm looking at him and I'm so confused. So I'm like, hello, like, what are you doing here? Who are you? And he doesn't say anything. He doesn't move, and he doesn't look at me or anything like that. And I'm just staring at him. And then all of a sudden I hear a name to what I thought was Sam. And so I was like, okay, well, like, I'm going to go get my mom because I don't know who you are and I don't think you should be here. So I run downstairs and I'm like, Mom, someone is in your room. And she was like, what? What are you talking about? And I was like, Mom, you have to come upstairs. There's someone in your bed. So she was like very confused and a little concerned. So we like run back upstairs, check the front door, make sure that that's locked, which it was. And we go like all the way up to her room. And as we enter, nobody was in there. And so she looks at me and she's like, Brent, what are you talking about? Are you just like making this up? Like, is this like an imaginary friend or something? And I was like, no, Mom, like, I saw someone laying in your bed. And then she was like, well, like, what did he look like? And so I explained, really tall, flannel shirt, dark hair, a thick beard, jeans, worker boots, whatever. And so her face just goes blank and her eyes widen and like she looks like she's about to pass out. And so she like quickly hurries over to her dresser and like rummages through a bunch of her stuff. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Like, someone was in here. What do we do? You know? And she like pulls out this photo and just like stares at it and then like slowly turns around. And I'm like, what? Like, what is it? And she hands me this photo and she was like, is this who you saw? And I like grab the photo and it's like an old photo of her with this man. And it was the same dude in the exact same outfit that I saw. And I was like, yes, like this is him. This is absolutely him. Who is this? And then she goes, his name is Stan. And I was like, okay, cool. Stan. All right, what's up? Who is he? Why is he here? And so she like sits down on the bed, literally looks like she's about to pass out. And she gently explains to me, like, well, before your father, about 10 years ago, I was married to a man named Stan. And unfortunately, while we were together, he passed away and he is no longer with us. He died. And so she explained that to me, like, as gently as she could. And I was so confused because I was like, what do you mean? He like he's not here anymore, but I saw him. And she goes, well, you know, he must be looking over you and looking over this house and making sure that I'm okay or something like that. But she was like, yeah, like he's no longer with us. He's not here anymore. So he's just checking in on you. And I was like, okay, well, that's so fucking like weird. And so that was like the first time that I ever like experienced a ghost or anything like that. And I've just sort of, you know, acknowledged throughout the years that if I ever feel anything like super spooky, that it's probably just like him looking out, because as I grew up and through conversations that I overheard as a kid and through conversations that I've had with my mom, like as an adult, what I found out was that while they were married, my mom was like 20 years old. She had like been trying to get pregnant with him and to have kids, and that never happened. And then I found out that his death was possibly the cause of like foul play or like an attempted murder or something like that, because he died of a brain aneurysm after like a blunt like trauma to his head. And it happened out of nowhere, and he was just like alone in Chicago, and like someone came up to him and like whacked him and like what we think like tried to kill him or something like that. And we don't know what happened. You know, my mom doesn't know, the police don't know, family members and friends like of that time like had no idea what happened. But then he like later, you know, passed on, and it was like really traumatic and everything like that. And there's a lot of different theories and rumors as to what exactly happened or who it was that, you know, attacked him. But I'm not going to get into that, but that's a whole different story. So yeah, learning that throughout the years and then reflecting on this like really clear memory that I have of him, you know, it makes sense that he's just with me and with like my mom and sort of hangs around the childhood home that I grew up in and is the same home that like he knew when they were together. And yeah, so he just kind of hangs out, and that was the first ever experience that I had with a ghost. It was really crazy, and definitely I think is the reason that I do believe in a lot of the spooky shit today and why I love your guys' podcast so much. So I hoped that you liked this story and my experience, and I look forward to your next episode. So yeah, stay spooky.
Oh my God. That was so good.
Brent, can
Holy shit, Brent. Send us more.
I have a request too, Brent.
Okay.
I would like Brent to start that podcast.
About the murder of...
Yes. Also,
I thought that too, of like, what a great...
Yeah.
Not great, but what a cool, interesting...
Yeah, what an amazing
crime
story. Also, the title was "I Saw My Mom's Dead Ex-Husband," but I didn't want to spoil it.
No, I appreciate that.
Oh,
that was
my
incredible.
God.
Oh my God!
Truly, I think Brent is a great storyteller.
Great.
I love that he had a dog named Brittany.
I love that so much.
And yeah, I almost cried during that. That was so...
Yeah, Marcy almost broke down and sobbed. I didn't, because I'm as strong as a rock.
Yeah, she's strong as a rock.
I'm strong as a rock.
She's very stoic. But God, please make that podcast and start it off with the ghost story.
With the ghost story, and then from there, the foul play.
Oh my God.
What an insane, awesome story.
Well, that's a good one to leave on, I think.
Yeah,
right?
that's a really good one. Ooh, we got
You guys.
chills.
We
baby.
love this. What a dream that we get to listen.
Oh my God, it's all I
to
want to
stories
do.
constantly. Thank you guys so
All
much for
day.
sending these in.
Yeah, please keep sending them. We'll keep listening
Check
and
our
reading.
Instagram. We're gonna post the pics from Rebecca's story.
You guys are done for.
You're gonna-
with those pics.
You're
They're
gonna-
incredible.
You're gonna have an earthquake in your pants, just like Betsy
just like
did.
I do once a day, sometimes more.
Please send us your paranormal experiences to funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com. And while you're at it, why don't you go over there and you rate, review, subscribe, do all the damn
download,
things.
or whatever it is. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, these were good.
It was perfect.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for listening to A Funny Feeling.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to share, please send us a voice memo, or you can email us just a letter at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com. I'm Marcy.
I'm Betsy, and don't shit your pants.
That was a HeadGum podcast.